Today we're going to talk about something I think we'll probably all be on the same page about, and it's the billions of dollars that have been wasted by our government of our tax money on fighting the war on drugs around the world. So the headline, and this is originally from Ben Adwin at Marijuana Moment, U.S. taxpayers spent almost $13 billion to fund the global war on drugs in the past decade, a report shows. A 47-page document jointly published by the Drug Policy Alliance, DPA, and Harm Reduction International, HRI, consists of what it describes as a follow-the-money data analysis that looks at anti-drug spending allocations across various government departments, as well as case studies from Colombia, Mexico, and the Philippines. The authors wrote that the analysis, quote, demonstrates how U.S. assistance has supported and expanded destructive and deadly anti-drug responses in low and middle income countries around the world, end quote. The $13 billion figure, the report says, is more taxpayer money than the U.S. government spent over that decade on primary education or water supply and sanitation in low and middle income countries, and also greater than U.S. foreign aid over the same period for all of Southern Africa or Central America. It's also about 300 times the total amount of U.S. foreign aid over that decade for women's rights organizations in low and middle income countries around the world. DPA said in an email about the report that the topic is, quote, especially timely as President-elect Trump and members of his administration threaten to ramp up the global war on drugs and increase punitive responses to international drug markets, end quote. For fiscal year 2025 alone, the report says President Joe Biden requested $1 billion for international counter-narcotics activities, about half of which, or $480 million, would be allocated to the Drug Enforcement Administration, or DEA, while about $350 million would have gone to the State Department. The role of the United States in exporting the destructive war on drugs to other countries is unparalleled, DPA and HRI said in an executive summary of the findings. Since 1971, the U.S. has spent more than $1 trillion on the war on drugs, prioritizing law enforcement responses and fueling mass incarceration within its borders. It has also played a leading role in pushing and funding punitive responses to drugs internationally. In terms of money earmarked for global aid efforts, the report says a growing amount of drug war funding has even come from the same U.S. official development assistance budgets that are supposed to help end global poverty and support other sustainable development goals. The U.S. contributed more than half of the about $1 billion in official development assistance since 2013 that's been earmarked for counter-drug efforts. You can read more details about the report and some of the data that's coming out of Colombia and the Philippines, and some of these other countries, and more of a breakdown of how this money is spent. But overall, I think we can agree that it's an asinine amount of money, especially if you think about what that money was originally earmarked for. And I think they made a very valid point in the executive summary talking about the new administration's goals for crackdown on fentanyl production, which obviously I think we all agree that fentanyl is a very dangerous drug and a scourge to society. But apparently we haven't learned anything after 50 years and more than $1 trillion that our prohibitionist policies have never once been an effective deterrent of human behavior. And we're just going to continue down the same path, it seems like. But this is Sohum reporting from the ATX. Let's kick it back to the team and see.
It's crazy. It's crazy, Sohum. You read so well to just disrespect your town like that by just saying the abbreviation for it.
I mean, I don't think anybody here thinks of it as disrespect.
Disrespect.
Oh.
It just is.
No.
You know what happens,
Well,
Jason?
this theme continues what I was talking about earlier about the United States approach to make things illegal, the malum prohibitum approach. And this started when we took over the Philippines just after the Spanish-American War, where the Catholic Church had reached an accommodation with the opium users, and we came in with our Protestant Christian leaders and just wanted to kick the shit out of them. That has continued to the day. It's more plausible in the eyes of these prohibitionists to keep throwing money to lock them up than it is, let's back up a little bit and see if we can find a different approach. Education, maybe, some health services. You just don't want to consider it. And that's a problem because, as I said before, in the war on drugs won.
Yes, they did. Drugs definitely won, without a doubt. Shout out to drugs.
It said, so they're saying 13 billion. That's just the trackable funding. It's not even, we're not even talking about like the Pentagon dark money, the dark budget.
That's the past decade. That's specific trackable funding that was specifically internationally. That's not even talking about domestic law enforcement at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But you know what? You know, we'd rather supply things that make us money. And lots of the people who are putting these politicians in office, they're getting paid off of this shit.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's probably important to note that the allocation that they're talking about to crack down on fentanyl, especially with the incoming Trump administration, is, I don't even think, related to drug policy so much as it is part of their overall strategy of isolationism and nativism and protectionist trade policies. And it's just another weapon that they want to use because, let's be real, a lot of that fentanyl is being produced in China and smuggled into the U.S. So
holy shit, you said some real shit right there, Sohum. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, some of us are will acknowledge facts when they present themselves.
I'm super impressed. I'm super impressed.
What leftists do, Jason. Leftists.
I'm so impressed
facts.
right now. I'm so
Not
impressed
Democrat.
right now. So impressed.
No, but Jason, I'm gonna ask you, man. Like,
sure.
What is the 47th president, Elon Musk, think about the $13 million going into the war on drugs globally? What is he going to do about this? Is he going to cut all the war on drugs funding?
I think no. A lot of it is going to go into fentanyl eradication. I would call it eradicating.
The more war on drugs.
I'm fine with this. I have no problem warring against fentanyl because fentanyl is a detriment to our communities, and too many people are addicted to it, and it is a serious problem that is just plaguing Americans. You know what I'm saying, from a public safety.
The same strategies that failed on all these other wars on drugs.
No, because the war on drugs was mainly on weed. It really wasn't on anything else. It was just like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Because if you look at a number of cases, it all started with them with the smell of weed, and then they found other stuff and whatnot. And that's why. Hold on, Rico. That's why I like Cash Patel, the incoming FBI director, his whole thing, because what he wants to do is there's 7,000 FBI agents that work in the J. Edgar Hoover building in DC, and he said that he wants to either fire them all or turn them all into field agents so that they can actually fight crime and remove all the desk jobs, and he's going to turn that building into a museum for the deep state, and I'm 100% support of that.
Yeah,
he's a fucking dipshit.
Yeah, I'm sure all these tenured professionals anywhere along the ranks here are just going to listen to this guy who has so many more credentials than
he's. They're 100%. They're going to fall in line, or they're going to kick rocks.
That guy is not making it to a Senate confirmation hearing.
Like Dub, Mac 10 in the building, they are bowing down. Jason, gonna happen.
It's happening, bro. It's happening.
Does he think that the FBI does not need any type of office support? And look, I'm not a proponent of the FBI or federal law enforcement in any way, but it's like that makes zero sense. What his strategy and his approach is like. It's just dumb.
I'll tell you this.
Moron.
No, stop it. Sohum, cash me outside. How about that?
Okay, Cash App.
Cash App, yeah, exactly, bro. It's gonna be great, man. We're about to make America great again.
You
I'm
think Matt Gaetz would be the Attorney General if he Cash Apped instead of Venmo'd?
Oh, you know, I'm just stop it, bro. We're going to our final commercial. We're gonna be right back.